Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out GITGUDRacing.com, where I'm offering the most accessible coaching sessions on the market. Now for the track guide. For turn 1, what you need to consider is opening up the corner as much as possible by using this curb. The off-track limit is having the left tires on the green, so if you're gonna put your left tires to the concrete, it's gonna be an off-track. I'm looking at the 100 meter board, and it's important here in this corner to be as early as you can on throttle and to rotate the car earlier on turn in. Because the earlier you're gonna be able to rotate the car under braking, the most of the time you're gonna gain, since you're gonna be earlier on throttle. So what I'm doing, I'm looking at 100, slightly before it, I'm applying the brakes. And you don't have to brake that hard, I'm picking around 70 or something. But what you have to do is, after downshifting to third, to ask for more steering angle and to release the brake quickly. This needs to happen at the same time, because doing that, doing the downshift, doing the releasing of the brakes, you will be able to turn more the car, so you will generate the rotation early by doing this. And what I'm looking to apex is this yellow curb. I want to go as close as I can towards it, but without going completely over it. I still go a bit over it, but you don't want to cut more since it's gonna be an off track. Still, you're aiming at the yellow curb, and the moment you're gonna touch it is the moment that you're applying the throttle. This is key. You want to be early on throttle. If you can be even earlier than that on throttle, it's gonna be phenomenal, since you will gain a lot. This is a big straight, so being early on throttle is the most important thing. It's one of the corners in which you should really think about the exit and not about gaining time on entry. But obviously you will still gain time on entry by rotating more, so it's still a win-win if you are able to do it. Now, the moment that I'm gonna press the throttle is gonna be straight to 100, so it's like an on-off switch. You don't want to modulate it on-off. And on exit, use this yellow curb. You can put your left tires on it and you won't scrap speed, the car won't bottom out, so it's actually advised to use this curb. While going forward, it still won't be an off track. And now skipping to the next corner, kind of similar in the approach. You still want to use all this curb. It's a theme in Red Bull Ring. Every corner where you're gonna see curbs and the green part, you can use it. So using all that, looking at the 100s, at the 100 I'm applying the brakes, so it's different than turn 1. You can brake a bit later here since it's an uphill braking zone and the car will slow down more quickly. Now, picking high into the brakes, going at 80% braking, then releasing it. And what I want to do is to exactly as turn 1, I'm looking at this yellow curb, I want to touch it, and the moment that I touch it, I try to be early on throttle. You see, it wasn't possible for me here to be on throttle at the curb, it's slightly past it. I think this was a mistake. You will have to be a bit earlier on throttle to carry the speed. So while you go on throttle here, you have to modulate a bit just because the nature of this corner. So here it's a compression, here you have a bit of grip, but the moment that the road goes upward, the grip decreases. So you have a lot of grip, then the grip decreases, then you have again grip. So this change in grip levels should also be present in the way that you're using the throttle. You're using the throttle to reflect the changing in grip levels. So it's important to know that you can't slam the throttle here like in turn 1. You'll have to modulate a bit. And also you can use this yellow curb more than what I did. You can go slightly over it like in turn 1 and you will carry a bit more speed. And this will be a result of being early on throttle. If I would have been earlier on throttle, I would have been pushed more here. So it's something that I can improve in my lap. Now skipping to the next corner, again using all the track. Here you want to brake before 100. You see the difference is now is that now it's a downhill braking zone and the car won't slow down as much, so you have to brake before the 100. I brake a bit too late here, and as a result, as you will see, I'm missing this curb. So what you want to do in this corner is to hook the car to this curb. Like right now, because my car isn't slowing down enough, I have to I'm turning, but the car is not turning. Like, I have this steering angle. I'm basically understeering at this moment, just because I braked way too late for it. So brake earlier, aim at this curb, ride it, and then be early on throttle. Also, while turning, you should release the brakes quickly. Notice how quickly I release the brake here. It's just because the ABS will kick in a lot since you're asking too much of the car, like turning a lot. So it's important here to release quickly. You don't want to carry a lot of brakes into this corner. It's counterintuitive, but the car will turn more if you have less brakes here. So brake hard, brake early, and then release quickly. Follow this curve and then be early on throttle. Use this exit curve. You can carry some speed by using it. And now for the next corner, I'm looking at the 50, and after the 50 I'm applying the brakes while still using some of this curve. I was afraid of using a bit more just because of the off track, but I think you can get away with just a bit more angle while braking. It's a tap on the brakes and then turn and downshift, and what you want to go is go around this curve but not over it. If you're gonna go over it, it will push the car more to the outside and you probably get the off track, and on the exit you're gonna modulate it with your throttle. Ideally you would not have this modulation like I did. I think this was a mistake because I still have a bit more space, but I was overcautious to finish the lap and not get the off track. But you get the idea. If you're gonna push more in the race and an off track won't matter to you, I would advise here to use a bit more throttle. Like, don't take this much time to build up, go to 100 a bit quicker. And now for the next corner, it's important to use this exit road to open up the corner. So at this point you want to be with all the car to the right part of the white line. So you want to be here while turning in so you can open the corner even more. So make advantage of this space, go straight and then brake and turn in while downshifting. You can use this curve will hook the car up nicely, so it's all fine, but be mindful to not brake too much for this corner and kill the momentum, since with these low powered cars you really want to carry the momentum forward. In this corner, using the curb, looking at the 50, before the 50 applying the brakes and downshifting to fourth. It's important to hit this curve, or at least the beginning of it, because this will hook the car a bit nicer to allow you to turn more. You can use way more than what I did here. Again, I braked a bit too late and couldn't rotate well enough. But what's important, the moment that you stay on this curve, then you're gonna try to go to 100% quickly, like what I did here. You're gonna gain a lot of time in between these two corners, this and the final one, if you're able to arrive at 100% quicker. Using all this track on this exit, you can put your car on the red and still won't be an off track. You will have to be the car to have the car somewhere in the middle of this separation line between the red and the green. And before the red is finishing, I'm applying the brakes. I'm trailing a lot into the corner while downshifting to turn, and it's important to go over this yellow sausage curb, not really touch it that much because it's gonna be an off track, but the closer you're gonna be on the inside, the more speed you can carry. And the moment you're landing, you should go to 100% quickly. See? So it's a lot of grip available here since this is a compression zone. So the moment you feel the compression in the suspension and the suspension is loaded, then you fire up the throttle. Be mindful to stay on this part. You don't want to be a bit more to the red, since this is gonna be potentially a slowdown. And in short, that's a track guide for Red Bull Ring. I hope you have a great week ahead, and I'll see you on the next one.